Welcome back to my little channel. Today I'm going to continue with those 100 facts about race realism. Now the title is somewhat different. It's 100 facts for the differences between human races. But yeah, it's basically a race realism article. And the funny thing was, if you remember correctly, and if you can't remember, you can always watch my original two videos. Not the original ones, the first two. So this is an original too, isn't it? Anyway, they said that there's one false fact and the rest of them are real. Now, we've been going through the list and we've reached fact number 17, and we found that, okay, one of them may be real, but the rest of them are gross oversimplification or narrative following points. What do I mean with narrative following points? Well, I have a narrative, I want to reach an end goal, and to reach this end goal I'm going to pretend that certain things are real. Now, what we've seen so far, and it was mostly about the IQ and etc, it's a cultural thing. And it's a biased thing, because a lot of research proving those 100 points is almost 100 years old, and times were slightly different back then. But okay, before I start all over again with point 1 to 17, let's continue with fact 17. Among human races, numerous studies have been made of the comparative weight of white and Negro brains, with the result that fell within the range of about 8 to 12% lower weight for the Negro brains. Such studies have been conducted by Bean, Pearl, Vint, Tilney, Gordon and others. Now, so far, every time when I try to follow one of these links, or one of their links, I haven't found much. So let's see what this one brings me, because I find this one interesting. Not the least because we do know that brain size in itself doesn't really matter much. Now, it's very difficult to find the resources that the 100 Facts article points towards. So I did some digging myself. Now, don't get me wrong, I just Google fooded a little bit. I came up to this page, africaresearch.com. They had an article called Race and Brain Size. Blacks have bigger brains. Not that I care much, again, brain size means very little, but here we go. 3 times Nobel nominated anthropologist Philip Tobias compared 7 racial and national groups in a study on brain size and weight, in which he reported that the brain size of American blacks was larger than any white group. Bernie Douglas, April 14th, 2008, revised February 17, 2009. The majority of empirical studies on the matter of racial differences in brain size suggest that blacks from comparable environments will have larger brains than whites do. Brain size vary considerably within any species, but this variation is not usually related to intelligence. So it doesn't really matter. Even if blacks do have smaller brain sizes, which according to this article is not the case, so what? Now, I will have a link downstairs. I'm not even going to go into this one, because this one basically counters what the other one said. But the difference is that this one says brain size doesn't even matter. So, even though if the black brain size would have been bigger or not, it doesn't matter. And the little bit of how it doesn't matter is the big bit of why I don't understand that they make this point to begin with. Had brain sizes indeed been smaller, it wouldn't have mattered. This one says brain sizes are bigger. It won't matter. Why are they bringing up this point? Anyway, onward to point 18. Fact 18 will tell us that in addition to the differences in brain weight, the Negro brain grows less after puberty than the whites, though the Negro brain and nervous system mature faster than the white brain. Its development is arrested at an earlier age, which limits further intellectual advancements. And this is simply not true. If it were true, this would mean that you cannot learn any new tricks after a certain age, whether you're white or black or Asian, because after a certain age, even though it might happen faster with black people than it happens with white people, your brain stops growing. That doesn't mean you stop learning, it doesn't mean you stop developing, so this is basically wrong. And it's not basically wrong, it's just a blatant lie. I mean, yes, okay, maybe it's true that a white brain is fully developed at 21 and a black brain is fully developed at 18. I don't know, I'm just pulling these numbers out of my head because it doesn't matter. This doesn't mean that they have no more further development in intellect. Claiming this is just nonsense. Because, as I said, this would mean that you can't learn after a certain age, which, okay, learning becomes harder, but not impossible. Okay, fact number 19. The thickness of the supracranial layer, or the outside layer of the Negro brain, is about 15% thinner, and its convolutions are fewer and more simple on average than that of the white brain. I can't really find whether this is true or not. And what's more important, I can't really find if it really means anything. Now there are several layers on the outside, and layer 1 to 3 is called the supragranular layer, but there are 6 layers in total. And they all have their own tasks, but they all intermingle, so that it's 15% thinner. Yeah, okay, that's fun. But what does it mean? Because what you're now doing, or what they've constantly been doing, is claiming something without explaining what that means. Kind of like inferring that you should know what it means. Now, brain sizes on average are based on averages. So if you're a big guy, your brain size will slightly be bigger than that of a small guy. But percentage-wise, it might be smaller than that of a small guy. And the percentage-wise thingy is more important. Not that it gives any indication of intelligence. So we are actually trying to clarify or discuss apples and oranges, and therewith calculate the tension strength of a suspension bridge. Now that sounds silly, doesn't it? That doesn't make sense at all. No, but that's the thing. Everything they're saying so far doesn't make sense at all. Well, yeah, but the supragranular layer is about 15% thinner. Yeah, okay. So what does that mean? It doesn't tell you what that means, because it doesn't really mean anything. We don't really know what it means, other than that it's 15% thinner. Yeah, okay. Point 20. The frontal lobes of the Negro brain, responsible for abstract conceptual reasoning, are smaller relative to body weight. Now, the relative to body weight part is important. Less fidget and less complex than those of a white brain. Now, this might be an interesting fact, because this might mean something. But the problem is, it only might mean something. Because, okay, it's smaller and it's responsible for abstract conceptual reasoning, but we don't know that their abstract conceptual reasoning is less because the brain size is smaller. It doesn't mean that the bigger your brain is, the stronger your brain muscle is. That's simply not how it works. I'm not quite sure why they keep bringing forth this, well, they call it a fact, I guess. Anyway, these are the 4 Negro brain facts that they bring forth. I think I've addressed them enough. Doesn't make me a neuroscientist, so if you have anything to say that proves me wrong, I am more than willing to hear it. But then please come with facts or explanations that I can actually understand. And if you come with explanations like, yeah, but listen, their brain is smaller. Yeah, but I already said that doesn't mean anything, and I can prove how that doesn't mean anything. The size of the brain comparative to the size of the body. Now that's interesting. So if your brain is big, but you're also bigger than I am, then yeah, is your brain size comparatively big? If the answer to that is no, then yeah, so what? I mean, on average, black people are slightly bigger than white people. Well, it depends on the black people, fair enough. because not all black people are one big, huge race. But let me put it like this. Usain Bolt is bigger than I am. Does that mean his brain is also bigger than mine? Probably. Does that mean that he's smarter than me? Well, he's a faster runner than me, that's for sure, but I'm not sure if he's smarter. Doesn't mean he can't be, I don't know. I simply do not know. But brain size in itself isn't the deciding factor in that. That's like saying, well, I mean, yeah, Lamborghini is a pretty fast car, but it's small, so a truck must be faster. That's not how it works. Well, yeah, but a Lamborghini has a far smaller engine than a tugboat. Therefore, a tugboat must be faster. That's not how it works. Try not to conflate these things. Anyway, I'm rambling a bit now. Like, share and subscribe. Criticism is more than welcome. It's not true because I say it is. Please feel free to bring me links proving you're right. If you do bring me links, please don't bring the link of the episode or website I'm currently addressing, because if you bring me European Media Center, I might not take it serious. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you all soon. Like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to criticize. Bye bye!